Imagine the dead of night in wartime Los Angeles. The city is on edge, blacked out against potential enemy raids. Suddenly, air raid sirens pierce the silence, shattering the fragile peace. Lights sweep the sky, and the thunder of anti-aircraft guns erupts. Something is up there, something that doesn't belong. Welcome to the Battle of Los Angeles, a mystery that still haunts the history books. What was that object in the sky, illuminated by searchlights, defying a barrage of shells? Was it an enemy craft, a secret weapon, or something far stranger? Stick around as we dive into this unexplained chapter of history. This is Tom McKenzie, and you are listening to Unexplained History. If you are enjoying this show, make sure to subscribe on all major platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Spreaker. And if you want more unexplained content, swing by our website at unexplained.co. It's the early hours of February 25th, 1942. World War II rages across the globe, and America is still reeling from the shock of Pearl Harbor just months earlier. Los Angeles, the glittering city of stars, is shrouded in darkness. Blackout curtains drawn tight, streets empty under the threat of Japanese invasion. The air is thick with tension, every shadow a potential spy, every distant hum a prelude to attack. Then, at 2:25 a.m., the sirens wail to life. Their piercing cry echoes through the canyons of downtown, rousing families from their beds. Hearts pound as people rush to windows, peering into the ink-black sky. What is it? Enemy planes? Bombers closing in? The military springs into action. Searchlights slice through the night like luminous swords, converging on a single point high above the city. By morning, the city is abuzz with questions. Newspapers splash headlines. LA guns blast at aerial intruder. Eyewitnesses swear they saw something solid, something real, caught in those searchlights. And then there are the photographs, grainy black and white images captured that night, showing beams converging on a distinct, luminous shape. It's not a blur, not a trick of light. It's there, defiant amid the bursting shells. But the official story? The military dismisses it all as war nerves. Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, calls it a false alarm, blaming jittery soldiers and misidentified weather balloons. Later reports suggest the explosions were just shell bursts mistaken for aircraft. Yet those photos tell a different tale, a clear contradiction, an object that withstood the fury and simply faded away. Was it Japanese, experimental American tech, or something beyond our world? The mystery lingers, unresolved, whispering of secrets hidden in the skies. Welcome back, listeners, as we dive into the mystery of the Battle of Los Angeles. Let's step back in time. Picture early 1942, a nation on the edge, still reeling from the shock of Pearl Harbor. What was life like in the City of Angels before the skies lit up with fear? It's February 1942, and Los Angeles sprawls under a hazy winter sun, a glittering mirage of palm trees, bustling boulevards, and the distant hum of Hollywood dreams. But beneath the glamour, there's an undercurrent of unease, a shadow cast by war. Just 2 months earlier, on December 7th, 1941, Japanese forces had struck Pearl Harbor, shattering America's sense of invincibility. The newsreels played it over and over. The smoking wreckage, the cries of the wounded, etching fear into every American heart. Now, the West Coast feels exposed, vulnerable, like a frontier town waiting for the raid. Whispers of enemy submarines off the coast, sightings of mysterious aircraft. The air is thick with suspicion. In the streets of LA, life goes on, but it's changed. Men in fedoras and women in victory rolls hurry along Wilshire Boulevard, their conversations laced with wartime jargon, rationing, enlistment, blackouts. The radio crackles with updates from the front lines, big band tunes interrupted by stern voices urging vigilance. "Keep 'em flying," the posters say, emblazoned with eagles and stars. Civil defense is the new religion. Air raid wardens patrol neighborhoods, drilling families on what to do when the sirens wail. Imagine it. The sun sets over the Pacific, and suddenly the city plunges into darkness. Blackout curtains drawn tight, car headlights dimmed with blue paint, not a sliver of light to guide enemy bombers. The drills are frequent, heart-pounding rehearsals for the unimaginable. Fear simmers in the smoggy air, mixing with the scent of orange blossoms and ocean salt. Japanese Americans, once neighbors, now face suspicion. Whispers of fifth columnists, spies in plain sight. Executive Order 9066 looms on the horizon, but already the tension is palpable. Civilians stockpile canned goods, tape their windows against bomb blasts, and scan the skies obsessively. Spotters on rooftops, armed with binoculars, watch for the silhouette of Zero fighters. The psychological weight is immense. Sleepless nights, children clutching gas masks in school drills, the constant hum of anxiety. LA, the city of eternal sunshine, now feels like a powder keg, one spark away from explosion. And on the night of February 24th, as the clock ticks toward midnight, that spark ignites. The air raid sirens begin to howl. The stage was set, the tension unbearable. But what unfolded next would baffle a city and history. Stay with us as we explore the chaos of that fateful night, the first major event in this unexplained timeline. Welcome back, listeners. We've set the stage with the tense historical backdrop of World War II hanging over Los Angeles. But now, let's dive into the heart of the mystery. It was late on February 24th, 1942, when the night sky over the City of Angels erupted into chaos. What started as a quiet evening would soon become one of the most bizarre incidents in American history. Over to our narrator to guide us through the incident as it unfolded, minute by tense minute. The clock ticked past midnight, slipping into the early hours of February 25th, 1942. Los Angeles lay under a blanket of wartime blackout, its streets dim and silent, the usual glow of Hollywood subdued by fear of Japanese bombers. Residents slept fitfully, their minds heavy with the news from Pearl Harbor just months before. But then, it began. At precisely 2:25 a.m., the first air raid sirens pierced the night. Their wail started low, a distant moan that grew into a deafening scream, echoing through the valleys and hills. Families jolted awake, hearts pounding. Was this a drill or the real thing? Confusion rippled through homes as parents grabbed children, fumbling for flashlights in the dark. Outside, the city transformed. Massive searchlights flicked on, their beams slicing through the blackness like giant swords. From coastal batteries and inland posts, dozens of these lights crisscrossed the sky, probing, searching for the unseen enemy. The air hummed with tension, the beams dancing erratically, converging on something. Witnesses later described a pale, silvery object hovering high above, unmoving at first, then drifting slowly. Was it a plane, a balloon, or something else entirely? Military personnel scrambled. Anti-aircraft units stationed around the city received urgent orders. Guns were manned, shells loaded. The suspense built like a storm cloud, heavy and oppressive. By 3:16 a.m., the first shots rang out. Anti-aircraft batteries unleashed a furious barrage, the night exploding with the thunder of 50 caliber machine guns and 3-inch artillery shells. Flashes lit up the horizon, the sky blooming with bursts of light and smoke. Shrapnel rained down like metallic hail, clattering on rooftops and streets below. Residents, now huddled in basements or peering from windows, felt the ground shake with each volley. The air filled with the acrid smell of gunpowder, mixing with the salty tang of the Pacific breeze. Panic spread. Some screamed, others prayed, as the firing intensified. Over 1,400 shells would be expended that night, a cacophony that seemed endless. Amid the chaos, confusion reigned. Radio reports crackled with fragmented updates, advising calm while sirens continued to blare. Military spotters strained their eyes through binoculars, trying to track the elusive target amid the swirling lights and exploding shells. Was it Japanese? The object appeared impervious, shells bursting around it without effect. Tension mounted with every passing minute. Hearts raced, breaths came shallow. For those on the ground, the world had narrowed to the roar of guns and the eerie glow above. The incident dragged on until 4:14 a.m. when the all-clear finally sounded, leaving a city dazed and questioning what had just happened. What an intense recounting of those chaotic hours. The air raid sirens, the blazing searchlights, and that relentless anti-aircraft fire painted a picture of a city on the brink. But as the barrage faded, the mystery only deepened. What was up there in the sky? Stay with us as we explore the escalation of this bizarre event in our next segment. You won't want to miss it. What started as a routine air raid alarm quickly spiraled into something out of a nightmare. The skies over Los Angeles lit up not just with searchlights, but with the thunder of anti-aircraft fire. This is the escalation into high strangeness, a night where reality seemed to bend. Let's dive deeper. As the initial alarm wailed through the darkened streets of Los Angeles on that fateful night in February 1942, residents braced for what they thought was an enemy attack. But soon, the situation escalated far beyond anyone's expectations. Searchlights pierced the black sky, converging on a single massive object hovering silently above the city. It wasn't a plane, at least not like any they had seen. The air filled with the sharp cracks of anti-aircraft guns as batteries across the coast opened fire in a chaotic frenzy. Over 1,400 rounds, precisely 1,433 according to reports, were unleashed into the night, a barrage that should have shredded any aircraft to pieces. Imagine the scene, the thunderous booms echoing through neighborhoods, shaking windows and rattling nerves. Shrapnel rained down like deadly confetti, puncturing roofs and scattering debris across streets. Residents, huddled in bomb shelters or peering from blackout-curtained windows, watched in terror as the object remained unmoved, indestructible. Illuminated by dozens of searchlights, it glowed eerily, a pale oblong shape that defied gravity and gunfire alike. Eyewitnesses described it as massive, perhaps 100 feet across, drifting slowly from Santa Monica to Long Beach, untouched by the relentless assault. Was it a Japanese bomber, a secret weapon, or something otherworldly? The chaos was palpable. Sirens blared incessantly, mixing with the staccato bursts of machine guns and the deeper roars of heavy artillery. People screamed, children cried, and dogs howled in confusion. The air smelled of gunpowder and fear, thick and acrid, as spotlights danced wildly, trying to pin down the elusive intruder. Some swore they saw multiple objects, smaller lights darting around the main one like fireflies in a storm. Others claimed the thing absorbed the shells, explosions blooming around it, but never on it. Panic spread like wildfire, heart rate soared, Imaginations ran wild. In the midst of war jitters, this was no drill. It felt like the end of the world. Psychologically, the impact was profound. Soldiers manning the guns fired blindly into the night, their training overridden by adrenaline and uncertainty. Civilians, already on edge from Pearl Harbor, now faced an enemy that wouldn't fall. Confusion reigned. Radio broadcasts urged calm, but the explosions told a different story. Debris from the shells caused real damage. Cars dented, homes pierced, and tragically, a few lives lost to the fallout. Yet, the object persisted, serene amid the storm, until it simply vanished toward the ocean as dawn approached. No wreckage, no downed planes, just questions lingering like smoke in the air. This unresolved enigma plagued everyone involved. Military officials scrambled for explanations, weather balloons perhaps, or mass hysteria. But eyewitnesses knew better. They had seen it with their own eyes. The surreal nature of that night, with its visual pandemonium and auditory assault, left an indelible mark on Los Angeles. It was a moment where the line between reality and the impossible blurred, forcing people to confront the unknown. The firing stopped, but the mystery endured, echoing through history as one of the most bizarre wartime incidents. A night of chaos and unanswered questions, where the skies turned hostile in ways no one could explain. But who were the people caught in the middle of this madness? Coming up next, we meet the key figures involved in this unexplained event. Welcome back to Unexplained History. I'm Tom McKenzie. After the chaos of that fateful night in 1942, when anti-aircraft shells lit up the Los Angeles sky, the military had to respond. What did the official investigation reveal? Was it enemy aircraft or something more mundane? Let's examine the procedural details of the post-event reports as we uncover the bureaucratic explanations that followed. In the immediate aftermath of the February 25, 1942 incident, now known as the Battle of Los Angeles, the United States military initiated a thorough, if somewhat methodical, investigation. The Western Defense Command, headquartered in San Francisco, took the lead. Their primary goal was to assess the effectiveness of the air defense systems and to determine the nature of the perceived threat. Reports flooded in from various sources: artillery units, radar operators, and civilian witnesses. The atmosphere in the command centers was one of tense scrutiny, with officers poring over logbooks and maps under the harsh glow of desk lamps, the air thick with the scent of coffee and cigarette smoke. Yet, the tone remained procedural, focused on facts rather than frenzy. By dawn, it was clear there had been no bombs dropped, no planes shot down, and no enemy landing. the investigation shifted to explaining the false alarm. The official narrative quickly coalesced around the concept of war nerves. This term, coined by military psychologists, described a state of heightened anxiety in wartime where ordinary stimuli could be misinterpreted as threats. According to the Army's press release issued later that day, the incident was triggered by the misidentification of one or more weather balloons. These balloons, released by the meteorological unit at a nearby base, had drifted into the searchlight beams. In the darkness, illuminated by the crisscrossing lights, they appeared as suspicious objects, prompting the initial alert. The report dryly noted that such balloons were routine, carrying instruments to measure atmospheric conditions for artillery accuracy. But on that night, amid the post-Pearl Harbor paranoia, they became harbingers of invasion. The bureaucratic language was precise. No evidence of hostile aircraft was found, it stated, emphasizing the absence of wreckage or casualties. Further explanations pointed to flares and shell bursts as culprits in the visual confusion. Anti-aircraft batteries, numbering in the dozens around Los Angeles, had fired over 400 rounds into the night sky. The exploding shells created bright flashes and smoke trails that, from the ground, could resemble aircraft maneuvers or even descending parachutes. Witnesses reported seeing red flares and glowing orbs, but the official report attributed these to the pyrotechnics of the barrage itself. Imagine the scene: the muffled thuds of cannons echoing through quiet neighborhoods, the acrid smell of gunpowder wafting on the breeze, and families huddled in blacked-out homes, hearts pounding with uncertainty. Yet, the military's account remained detached, citing radar anomalies caused by temperature inversions. Layers of warm air trapping cooler air below, which could bounce signals erratically and mimic incoming planes. Press releases from the War Department reinforced this stance. Secretary of War Henry Stimson addressed the nation, stating that the alert was a practice of sorts, testing readiness, though no actual enemy was present. Newspapers like the Los Angeles Times carried headlines such as "Mystery Raid Fizzles," quoting officials who blamed jittery nerves. However, controversy arose over the photographs published in the press. Several images captured by journalists during the event showed beams of light converging on a central object. Reports surfaced that these photos had been retouched before release, details blurred, contrasts adjusted, purportedly to downplay any appearance of a mysterious craft. The military denied heavy alterations, claiming only standard processing for clarity. But skeptics pointed to the bureaucratic impulse to control the narrative. In the sterile offices of censorship boards, decisions were made to present a unified front. The incident was nothing more than a collective hallucination fueled by wartime stress. The investigation's final reports, filed away in government archives, painted a picture of procedural efficiency. Committees reviewed ammunition expenditures, radar logs, and eyewitness statements, concluding that human error and environmental factors were to blame. No disciplinary actions were taken. Instead, the event was heralded as a successful drill that exposed weaknesses in the defense network. The dry prose of these documents, filled with acronyms, timestamps, and technical jargon, belied the fear that had gripped the city. Residents, emerging from shelters with dust in their hair and questions in their eyes, were told to move on. Yet the official explanations left lingering doubts, like echoes of unanswered shell fire in the quiet dawn.
There you have it, the official story, wrapped in bureaucracy and rational explanations. War nerves, weather balloons, and a touch of photo editing to smooth over the edges. But was that the whole truth? Up next, we delve into the skeptical theories that question these accounts and propose something far more extraordinary. Stay tuned to Unexplained History. We've just explored the chaotic night of the Battle of Los Angeles, with its thunderous anti-aircraft fire and mysterious lights in the sky. But was it really an enemy invasion, or something far more mundane? In this segment, we turn a rational eye to the events, dissecting the skeptical theories that aim to ground this wartime frenzy in science and human error. Let's peel back the layers of panic and illusion.
Imagine the scene. Los Angeles, February 25th, 1942. The city is on edge, still reeling from Pearl Harbor just months earlier. Air raid sirens wail through the night, piercing the darkness like a knife. Searchlights slice across the sky, their beams frantic, probing for threats. Then, the guns erupt. Boom after boom, shells exploding high above, lighting up the heavens in bursts of fire and smoke. To the terrified residents below, huddled in blacked-out homes, it must have felt like the end of the world. But skeptics argue this wasn't an extraterrestrial encounter, or even a Japanese raid. No, it was mass hysteria, amplified by the fog of war. Let's start with the atmospheric phenomena. That night, the air was thick with tension and, quite literally, with coastal fog. Weather balloons, those innocuous helium-filled orbs used for meteorological data, were common in the area. One such balloon, launched earlier, could have drifted into the searchlight beams. Picture it. The balloon catches the light, refracting it in strange ways, creating an illusion of a solid, hovering object. Faulty radar picks it up as an unidentified blip, and suddenly the alarm is raised. Human panic takes over from there. Now, add in the searchlights. These powerful beams, crisscrossing the sky, weren't just illuminating potential targets. They were creating optical tricks. When anti-aircraft shells began detonating at high altitudes, their explosions scattered shrapnel and smoke, which caught in the lights. Witnesses described a craft that seemed to float serenely amid the barrage. But consider this: flares dropped from planes, or even the glowing remnants of exploding shells could merge with the searchlight glare, forming what appeared to be a unified shape. It's like staring at car headlights through a misty windshield. The light diffuses, warps, and fools the eye into seeing something that's not there. Scientific minds point to pareidolia, that innate human tendency to see patterns where none exist. In the heat of the moment, with adrenaline surging and fear clouding judgment, a cluster of illuminated debris becomes an enemy airship, or worse. And let's not forget the role of misinformation. Wartime censorship was rampant. The military had every reason to downplay the incident to avoid public panic. Photos from the event? Many skeptics claim they were retouched, enhanced or altered to show convergence of searchlights on a supposed object, all to reassure a jittery populace that defenses were active and effective. Delve deeper into the sensory chaos. The acrid smell of gunpowder hangs heavy in the air, mixing with the salty tang of the Pacific breeze. Ears ring from the ceaseless artillery fire, each blast vibrating through bones and buildings alike. Eyes strain against the night, pupils dilated in the alternating darkness and blinding light. In such conditions, illusions thrive. A weather balloon, perhaps punctured by shrapnel, deflates slowly, its erratic path mistaken for evasive maneuvers. Or flares, deployed to illuminate the target, drift lazily, their orange glows coalescing into what looks like portholes on a craft. Human error compounds it all. Nervous gunners firing at shadows, radar operators misreading echoes from birds, or even temperature inversions that bend signals unpredictably. The official explanation? A false alarm triggered by a lost weather balloon, escalated by overzealous defenses. No wreckage found, because there was no craft to begin with. The battle was fought against phantoms born of fear, not foes from afar. Yet, this rational lens doesn't diminish the terror felt that night. It explains it, grounding the mystery in the very human capacity for mistake and misperception.
There you have it, a sharp, analytical take that attributes the Battle of Los Angeles to earthly explanations, illusions, panic, and wartime jitters. But not everyone is convinced by science alone. Up next, we dive into the paranormal theories that suggest something otherworldly was at play that fateful night. Stay tuned. We've just heard the skeptic's side, the rational explanations that try to ground the Battle of Los Angeles in wartime nerves and earthly mishaps. But what if there's more to it? What if the lights in the sky that night weren't just illusions or balloons? Welcome to the Believer's Corner, where we step into the unknown and entertain the possibilities that defy conventional logic. Let's dive in.
Imagine the scene. Los Angeles, February 25th, 1942. The city is already on edge, the fresh scars of Pearl Harbor still raw. Air raid sirens wail through the night, piercing the darkness like a scream. Searchlights slice across the sky, converging on something. Not a plane, not a balloon, but an object that hovers defiantly amid the chaos. Eyewitnesses, thousands of them, stare upward, hearts pounding, as anti-aircraft shells explode around this enigmatic intruder. Yet it remains, unscathed, a silent sentinel in the storm of fire. For those who believe, this was no mere mistake of identification. This was evidence of something otherworldly, a craft from beyond our skies that withstood humanity's mightiest barrage. The descriptions vary, but a common thread emerges from the testimonies. Many describe the object as lozenge-shaped, elongated, smooth, almost like a giant pill suspended in the air. It glowed with an eerie, pale light, not the harsh glare of a spotlight or the flicker of flames. Photographer C. E. Pollard captured images that night, photos that some claim show this craft clearly outlined against the exploding shells. In the grainy black and white prints, beams of light converge on a central form, and there it is, unmoved, unyielding. Skeptics dismiss these as tricks of light and shadow, but believers point to the details. The way the object seems to absorb the impacts, how it maneuvers with impossible grace, defying the laws of aerodynamics we know. Was it a UFO? An unidentified flying object, yes, but perhaps something more. Extraterrestrial visitors observing our world at war. Picture the terror and awe mixed in the air that night. Residents huddled in bomb shelters, their breaths shallow, eyes wide with fear and wonder. One witness, a young woman named Katie, later recounted feeling a strange calm wash over her as she watched. It wasn't attacking, she said. It was just there, like it was watching us. Others spoke of smaller lights dancing around the main craft, like escorts or probes, zipping through the barrage with effortless agility. The official story, a weather balloon, a case of war nerves, doesn't account for these accounts. Why did the artillery fire over 1,400 rounds, only for the target to vanish without a trace? No wreckage, no debris, just fading echoes of explosions and a sky returning to silence. For believers, this points to a cover-up, a deliberate obscuring of the truth to prevent panic in a time of global conflict. Delving deeper into the fringe theories, some speculate this was no random sighting, but a deliberate show of force, or perhaps curiosity, from beings not of this earth. The lozenge shape echoes reports from other UFO encounters, from Roswell to Rendlesham Forest. Could it have been testing our defenses, gauging our response to an unknown threat? The air thick with the acrid smell of gunpowder, the ground shaking from each thunderous blast, and yet this craft endures, a testament to technology far beyond our own. Paranormal enthusiasts argue that the photographic evidence, though debated, shows anomalies, blurs and auras that suggest energy fields or cloaking devices. And the eyewitnesses? Their stories persist, passed down through generations, fueling a conviction that the government knows more than it admits. In the quiet aftermath, as dawn broke over a shell-shocked city, questions lingered like smoke. What if we're not alone? What if that night we glimpsed something truly unexplained? These theories thrive on the unknown, on the gaps in the official narrative, the eerie silence of the craft, the way it hovered without sound or aggression. It evokes a sense of mystery that's hard to shake. Believers remain convinced because the alternatives feel too mundane, too dismissive of the raw emotion and vivid memories of that fateful night. Whether extraterrestrial or something even stranger, the Battle of Los Angeles challenges us to look up and wonder, what else is out there, hidden in the stars?
Fascinating perspectives from the believer's side, isn't it? Whether you buy into the extraterrestrial theories or not, there's no denying the enduring mystery. But the story doesn't end here. Next, we'll explore the cultural legacy of the Battle of Los Angeles, how it's inspired movies, books, and a lasting fascination with the unknown. Stay tuned. Welcome back, listeners. As the echoes of anti-aircraft fire faded into the night of February 25th, 1942, Los Angeles awoke to a world forever changed. But what lingered wasn't just the rubble or the fear, it was the questions. Questions that have shaped our cultural memory, fueled conspiracies, and even seeped into the silver screen. Today, in this reflective aftermath, we explore the enduring legacy of the Battle of Los Angeles. How has this enigmatic event been remembered or forgotten in the annals of history? Let's delve into its impact on UFO lore, pop culture, and the ongoing debates that keep the mystery alive. Over to our narrator for the deep dive.
In the quiet aftermath of that fateful night, the city of Los Angeles tried to return to normalcy. The streets, once lit by the frantic beams of searchlights and the bursts of exploding shells, now lay silent under a blanket of morning fog. But the air was thick with unease, a palpable tension that whispered of something unexplained. Officially, the military dismissed it as a false alarm, nerves frayed by the shadow of Pearl Harbor, perhaps a wayward weather balloon caught in the crossfire. Yet, the photographs told a different story, a hovering object illuminated against the night sky, defiant amid the barrage. Eyewitnesses spoke of a massive, luminous craft, unmoved by the onslaught, vanishing into the dawn as mysteriously as it appeared. This discrepancy between official accounts and tangible evidence planted the seeds of doubt, seeds that would grow into a forest of fascination. Decades later, the Battle of Los Angeles stands as a cornerstone in UFO lore. It predates the Roswell incident by 5 years, yet shares that same aura of government cover-up and extraterrestrial intrigue. Imagine the collective imagination ignited, historians and hobbyists poring over grainy black and white photos, their faces illuminated by desk lamps in dimly lit rooms, the scent of old paper and coffee filling the air. Conspiracy theorists gathered in hushed circles, voices low with excitement, debating whether it was a Japanese secret weapon, a German prototype, or something from beyond the stars. The event's ambiguity fueled endless speculation, embedding itself in the psyche of a nation already gripped by wartime paranoia. In popular culture, this mystery has refused to fade. It inspired films like the 2011 blockbuster Battle Los Angeles, where alien invaders descend upon the city in a blaze of special effects and heroism. Picture the theater, audiences gripping their seats, the boom of cinematic explosions echoing the real-life artillery of 42, hearts racing with a mix of thrill and reflected fear. Television shows, from The X-Files to documentaries on the History Channel, revisit the incident, blending fact with fiction, keeping the enigma alive for new generations. Even in literature and podcasts, like this very one, the story persists, a reflective mirror to our enduring curiosity about the unknown. But there's a somber side to this legacy. In public memory, the event teeters between remembrance and oblivion. For many, it's a footnote in World War II history, overshadowed by larger battles and atomic reckonings. Yet for those touched by it, the families who huddled in blacked-out homes, the soldiers who manned the guns, the emotions run deep, a cocktail of confusion, frustration, and a lingering sense of betrayal by those in power who offered no satisfying answers. The ongoing debates rage in online forums and academic circles, where skeptics clash with believers, each side armed with evidence and passion. Was it mass hysteria? A test of experimental aircraft? Or proof of visitors from afar? This fascination endures because it taps into something primal, our fear of the skies above, the vulnerability of our world, and the thrill of the unexplained. As years turn to decades, the Battle of Los Angeles remains a testament to human wonder, a story that refuses to be shelved, inviting us all to gaze upward and question what might be watching back.
Powerful reflections on a night that still haunts our imagination. The legacy of the Battle of Los Angeles reminds us how thin the line is between fact and legend, between fear and fascination. But as we ponder its place in history, it's time to wrap up our journey. Stay with us as we head into the conclusion, where we'll tie together the threads of this enduring mystery and leave you with final thoughts on what it all means. You're listening to Unexplained History. As we draw this episode to a close, let's linger a moment longer in the shadows of that fateful night in 1942. What secrets does the Los Angeles sky still hold? Join me in these final thoughts, where the lines between fact and mystery blur like searchlights cutting through fog.
Imagine the city of Los Angeles, still echoing with the distant thunder of anti-aircraft guns. The acrid scent of gunpowder hanging in the air like a forgotten promise. It was February 25th, 1942, and the world was at war. But on that night, something inexplicable pierced the veil of normalcy. Sirens wailed through the streets, pulling families from their beds into a frenzy of fear and confusion. Searchlights danced across the heavens, illuminating what exactly? The official story claims it was a false alarm, nerves frayed by the recent attack on Pearl Harbor, triggering a cascade of mistaken identities. Weather balloons, they said, or perhaps errant flares from nervous gunners. But the photographs tell a different tale. Grainy images captured in the heat of the moment show bursts of light converging on a single, enigmatic shape hovering above the city. Not a plane, not a balloon, something other. Shells exploded around it, yet it remained unmoved, as if mocking the chaos below. Feel the chill of that pre-dawn hour, the collective heartbeat of a city holding its breath. Eyewitnesses spoke of a massive object, silent and luminescent, drifting through the barrage like a ghost in the machine of war. The military's narrative shifted with the winds. First enemy aircraft, then nothing at all. But those photos, preserved in archives like whispers from the past, show shell bursts encircling a form that defies explanation. Was it a Japanese raid, shrouded in secrecy? Or something far stranger, an intrusion from beyond our understanding? The tension simmers even now, official denials clashing against the unyielding evidence of film. Imagine the soldiers manning those guns, their faces etched with sweat and determination, firing into the unknown. Did they hit their target, or did it simply vanish? The air raid left scars on the city, shrapnel damage, shattered windows, lives lost to friendly fire, yet no wreckage, no definitive proof. It's as if the night swallowed the truth whole, leaving only questions in its wake. Philosophically, we ponder the nature of reality itself. In a world gripped by global conflict, where trust in authority was paramount, how do we reconcile the seen with the unseen? The photographic mystery endures, images that capture not just light and shadow, but the essence of doubt. Were those bursts of flak illuminating an extraterrestrial visitor, or merely the folly of human paranoia? The air thick with uncertainty, the ground littered with spent casings, each one a testament to our desperate grasp for control. And yet, as dawn broke and the searchlights faded, the enigma persisted. Generations later, we sift through the remnants, faded news clippings, eyewitness accounts laced with awe and terror. The official conflict rages on in hushed debates. Cover-up or coincidence? Breathe in the lingering smoke. Feel the weight of unanswered queries pressing down like the heavy Los Angeles fog. Did the truth about that night vanish with the smoke and searchlights? Or is it waiting, still out there in the darkened skies? Ponder this as the echoes fade. leaving us to wonder what other mysteries the heavens conceal.
That concludes our investigation into this mystery. I'm Tom McKenzie. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And remember to visit unexplained.co for the photos we discussed today. Until next time, keep looking for the truth.